Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to explain you a very important topic for your CAPM or PMP exam, which is known as contract types. You will surely get minimum one question from this topic in your exam. I have tried to cover this topic and everything related to this in one video for your convenience. So without doing any further delay, let's get started. So, according to Pimbong, there are three primary types of contracts. The objective is to select the type which is kind of fairest and most workable deal for both the parties. Both the parties means the project team and the vendors. I'll explain these three types in detail in this video. But before that, I want you to take the screenshot of this screen, or maybe you can pause the video for a second and try to take a note of these contract types because it's very important for your exam. So the very first type of contract is fixed price contract. These are also known as lump sum contracts. The seller and the buyer agree on a fixed price for the project. So here the seller often accepts a high level of risk in this type of contract. The buyer is in the least risk category since the price the seller agreed to is fixed. There are few types of fixed price contracts. Number one is firm fixed price contracts, FFP. Firm fixed price contracts are used when the scope of work is clearly defined and the requirements are well understood. The seller needs to understand the requirements and also all the associated risks which may occur during the project work while making a fixed price quotation. Hence, for a fixed price contract, the seller also needs to be very mature and capable. The payments will be made based on delivering well-defined outcomes. The seller here assumes all the cost-related risks once agreed. The seller may lose money in this kind of contract, but at the same time, the seller may make a maximum profit in this kind of contract if they can complete the work at less cost. Number two is fixed price incentive fee contracts, FPIF. Although here also the price is fixed, the seller is offered a performance-based incentive. The incentive can be dependent on one or more project metrics such as performance, cost, or time. Now the third type is fixed price with economic price adjustment. The fixed price can be redetermined depending on the market pricing rate. So this kind of contracts are mostly used for long-term contracts. Now, what do you do when the scope of work is not clear? A fixed price contract is out of the question since you are not sure that what the project will require. So the next type of contract is cost reimbursable contract. So a cost reimbursable contract is used when the project scope is uncertain or the project is high risk. So the buyer is going to pay all the costs, so the buyer is going to bear all the risk. So under this cost reimbursable contract, the seller will going to work for the fixed time period and then they will raise the bill after finishing the work. Now a major drawback of this kind of contract is that it is possible that the seller can raise an unlimited or unknown amount which the buyer is compelled to pay because of the agreement. So this is why this cost reimbursable contracts are rarely used. Now I'm going to tell you the few types of cost reimbursable contracts. So the number one is cost plus percentage of cost contracts. So here the seller is going to get all the cost that has incurred during the project plus a percentage of the fee over cost. So this is always going to be beneficial for the seller but not for the buyer. Now the next is cost plus fixed fee contract, CPFF. So here the seller is going to get paid a fixed amount even they have not started to work on the project. After that, they are going to get all the cost that has incurred on the project and it's going to reimburse on the top of this. So So regardless of the project performance even. So now after that, the third type is cost plus incentive fee contract, CPIF. So in this contract, a performance-based incentive fee will be paid to the seller over and above the actual cost of the project that has incurred during the projects. With this type of contract, the incentives are the motivating factor for the seller to meet or maybe exceed the project performance metrics. Now the fourth one is cost plus award fee contract, CPAF. So here the seller will get a bonus amount that is called as award fee plus the actual cost that has incurred on the project. So this type of contract is very similar to the CPIF contract, incentive one. So now the last type of contract is time and material contract. So this time and material contract is also known as unit price contracts, what we usually call as hourly rate contracts. So this kind of contract is a hybrid of cost reimbursable and the fixed price contract. For example, let's say that the seller is going to work for 10 hours and he is going to be paid $100 per hour. So obviously the buyer is going to pay $1,000 to the seller for his work. So this is how this time and material contracts works. It's very easy to understand. So this kind of contracts are very common for freelancers, and the main advantage of this contract type is that here the seller makes money for every hour spent working on the project.
So now you know all the three types of contracts, so it's very easy to understand. So let's practice few questions based on that.
So the question number one is, you have been asked to assist the contract manager in drafting the contract for a large project with limited scope clarity. Which type of contract would you suggest so that your organization does not incur any financial losses? So if you will see the option A, time and material, it's not at all suitable for this scenario because it's a limited scope clarity and you don't know how long this project is going to be stretched out. Now the option B is fixed price. So if you are going to go for the fixed price contract, it's basically you are going to lock yourself into a rate or price. So in case in future, if anything happens as a seller, you are going to bear all the losses. Now you have left with two options, cost plus fixed fee and cost plus incentive fee. So in a project with limited scope clarity, incentives are hard to define and agree. So here the best option is cost plus fixed fee. Now let's move to the next question. Which of the following is not an advantage of a fixed price contract? So if you will see the option A, less work for buyer to manage. It's an advantage. That's why we go for the fixed price. Then option B is seller has a strong incentive to control costs. Again, it's an advantage because you know that if the seller is going to finish this task in less budget, so it's a fixed price contract. So he is going to be benefited by that. So they have the strong incentive to control the cost. So it's an advantage. Now the option C is buyer knows the total price at project start. Again, it's an advantage. You know how much your project is going to cost. Option D, and the only option that is left, is final cost may be more than that specified in a cost reimbursable contract because contractors have to inflate the price to cover their risk. So in this case, this is the right option for us because inflating the price to cover risk will only result in increasing the price for the buyers. So this is definitely not an advantage. So this is how the questions might be asked in your exam. So be ready for that.
So this was all about different types of contracts in your project management according to Pimborg guide. I hope that this video will be useful for your preparation. Do let me know your thoughts and questions in the comment section. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Bye and take care.